Shalom, everybody. Welcome to this video. I'm going to be sharing a recipe with you that I have tried and worked for the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Unleavened pizza is the recipe today. So yeah, you will need plain flour. You'll need some olive oil. I had extra virgin olive oil, but you can use whatever you have really. Half a cup of water. So you need some water. Yeah, best if you can use like filtered water really. It's just less chemicals in things. And some salt, preferably sea salt. So yeah, what I did is I mixed up a cup of flour. These are approximate, so you might have to use your judgment when it comes to the end result. So a cup of flour, and put made a little well in the middle with the flour. So put the flour in a bowl, a mixing bowl, make a little well in the middle, put a spoon of oil, so yeah, a tablespoon or so of olive oil, and then you put in half a cup of water, just gradually, and stir it all up. Make sure you stir it well so it gets, you know, not too lumpy bits, but it should be a good consistency that is able to hold together, but it isn't too dry and isn't too wet. So if it's too wet, that's okay because you can add more flour. It's not a huge problem. But yeah, just put the water in gradually as you're going and see what it's forming like. But those are approximate guidelines, and what you do when you mix it up, you should be able to give it a bit of a knead. So it should be a nice sort of soft consistency, but not sticky. You know it's sticky. So when you've got the whole lump like of that to a nice consistency, and you put the salt in as well. If I didn't mention that, by the way, put the salt in when you're mixing up, and just put like as much as you want, really. Yeah, as much as you want, just a bit. And so you can also put herbs in this. I did do. Yeah, you can do that. We can put some herbs in, some mixed herbs if you want to, dried herbs. You could get quite experimental with it if you wanted to. But yeah, so when it's like that, you take it out the bowl and put some flour on your working surface, and you need a rolling pin. And what I did is I made pizzettes because someone suggested to me that they might not work out, and if they're a bit floppy, it'll be easier if you have little ones. So I made little ones. You could easily make a big one because it's actually worked out really well, and it was good. It was a good consistency. It was a good sort of firmness. That's the word I'm looking for. It was a good firmness pizza. Wonderful. Resulted in. So yeah, you can make an ordinary sized pizza out of this. So up to you whether you want to roll it out as it is and make a pizza, or whether you want to take the dough and separate it into balls, roll them, and then make little pizzas out of it. Yeah, so basically if you want to make little ones, take a ball, roll it, and put it on the surface, flatten it out with your hands a bit, which is applicable to the big one as well. Flatten it out with your hands a bit, and then start rolling it. And you've got to sort of turn it as you're rolling it so it gets nice and round. You don't want a square pizza or oblong pizza or triangle pizza. Preferably round is what you're looking for. So yeah, just keep like moving it around, flip it over so put some flour on so it doesn't get stuck, and roll it out until you've got a good good thickness. You don't want it too thick. You really don't want it too thick because it won't cook too well if you do it too thick. But there's a video here I show you the thickness I did, and it really worked out well. It cooked nicely. So after a little bit of experimentation, I tried a few different ways of cooking it. The best thing to do is just if you have a pastry brush or something, get some olive oil and just put it over the surface and stick it on a baking tray. I had one of those pizza baking trays that has holes in the bottom, which makes a nice, makes the heat go right through. So preferably use something like that. If not, a baking tray should be fine. Put it in the oven. I did 180 degrees. And you want to really, after 5-10 minutes, turn it round, turn it over maybe. What you want is a nice golden colour on both sides. And you should be cooked all the way through then. So, I mean, I didn't actually have a watch with me, so I mean, you're looking about 15 minutes. You want to flip it over halfway is what you're looking at. And then once it's done, you can take it out. And then I had some chopped tomatoes I got in a carton. They were actually garlic and chili. I chopped tomatoes, that's flavorful. And what I did is I put them on top, and then I put some, I sliced some cheese and put that on top of the tomatoes, and you put it back in the oven for just like, sort of 10 minutes, and check it, and you want the cheese to be nice and melted, and obviously the tomatoes to be heated up. You could mess around with the toppings. You could put anything you want on there, really. You could even use tomato puree instead of chopped tomatoes. You could add some basil in if you wanted to. Yeah, you could definitely do lots of different things with this. But this was the end result. I'll show you now, and it was pretty good. It wasn't too dry because the olive oil made it nice and soft, and it was also firm enough to actually be like a pizza base. One thing I would suggest when you're putting the topping on, a really important thing I learned doing this, is make sure you leave room around the edges of the pizza. Because what happens when it's in the oven, all the topping spreads right to the edges. So you need to leave a good, I'd say about an inch around the sides of the pizza to allow for that spread. And if you want a nice crust, allow more so that you can get a nice plain crust, nice and crispy. Crispy pizza. So yeah, and then I made some coleslaw to go with it. My chunky coleslaw recipe. So I literally got like a quarter of a cabbage, half a large carrot, and I just shredded the cabbage, chopped the carrots into like sort of julienne strips, and some are diced. And then I put them in a bowl together, and I put a load of mayonnaise on them, put some salt and pepper, mixed it all up, and there is your coleslaw. And so I had unleavened pizzettes with chunky coleslaw, and it was really good. So this is a recipe for you, my friends, brothers and sisters, to try. Do this piece of your bread, and it will be here for you to try and experiment with. And yeah, I hope it bless you, and let me know in the comments if you make it and how it goes. I'll be really interested to hear from you. Okay, until next time, shalom.